TRX, we start with 1 hour chart. Okay, if you refer to my last video and the price here, we say if we get any opportunity, we can take it. There was a buy, and when the price come to this run line, I mentioned that we have to manage it. That means this is where we should manage the trade. All right. Okay, this is where we could buy. And when if you put over since the trend line we have here, when the price come here, we see it's not moving. This is where we should manage. Even I mentioned about this high, okay, but this is where we should do it. And when there was, I mean, even anyone, they didn't take out the trade or they didn't move their stop loss to break even, when they see this sharp move down, so this is not the sharp, I mean this, they see this move down, when they see this one is a flag for the next move down in relative to this. Okay, that's why when we see this one, we have to take out the trade. Okay, now this is how sometimes we need to start to manage the trade. When we get, that's why we call it short-term trade. When we get into the profit, we start to manage. When we see it's not moving, is where the price is take the trend line. We have to take out the trade, or at least the best is we move our stop loss to break even. But this is where it proved that it's not moving. Okay. Now, if I move to 1 hour chart, what's the next? Can we get the trade? Because as we can see that with the price drop and break this one, okay, this is where we were expecting if the price drop and break, we can look for buy. But as we can see, there was we get this move, but based on 1 hour chart, there was no trade setup. And even if I move to 15 minute, there was no proper, I mean, we didn't have any trade setup to trade this. No, what's the next? Whether this is the one we can take the trade or not. Okay, may I move to 1 hour? We start with 1 hour chart. Okay, based on 1 hour chart, if this one continue, we cannot trade because of the possibility the price tag and reverse. Okay, if this one continue, the only way we get for the breakout, we get a correction. We have to get the correction for buy. This is the first. And the second, how about if we get the correction here, correction for buy, then we can take the trade. Okay, even is near to the trend line, we need to take, and what we expect, we want the breakout. If we see we take, I mean, after 2 or 3 hours is not moving, we don't stay with the trade. We take out the trade, we wait for the breakout and get the correction. And one thing I need to highlight here, if anyone wants to trade based on 15 minutes, can we put this one as a run flat in relative to this for the next move down? Whether we get one move down, it is a better confirmation, or a price start from here. Okay, this one, if we want to trade, is really risky because the only way we can have entry above this, and what we want the price sharp break and continue. Okay, this one is just as a like one type of the risky trade. Just I want to highlight, but I'm not calling the trade for this. I mean, I'm not suggesting anyone to take it because if they didn't have the experience for that, maybe refer to this. See, this one is a flat as well. This is what we can look for. Having entry above this, continuation in relative to this. This is a small, I mean, what we're talking right now, what we have just mentioned is similar to what I show you here, but is in a small, I mean, the smaller correction, the smaller running front in terms of the length, but this one become more corrective. Okay, why do we? If this one continue, the only way we can have entry above this. For me, right now, I say take this risk to trade this. Unless I see one more drop, then I see the changes. If I see the one more drop, I see the changes. I can confirm if I get the trade, there is a breakout, then I will take the trade. But mostly we will expect this one to start to correct similar to what I draw here. This is the best. Okay, even for this one, whether we can get the trade set up or have entry above the top, we need to see how deep this one can go. Okay, again, this one, which just now we talk about, is really risky and depends on the traders whether they want to take or not, but I don't suggest it. Just I pointed, sometimes you will see this kind of the trade. Okay, And right now we don't have any trade setup based on the 1 hour chart. We need to get a correction, and indicators doesn't show me anything. 4 hour chart, we don't have anything. The only thing is we need to know whether this is a start or we will be within longer, I mean within the deeper correction.